What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So it's official. Breaking news. You're going to get undefeated, unified WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top two, if not number one, definitely top five pound for pound best fighters in the world. And Errol the Truth Spence Jr., who is 28 wins, no loss, and no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. He's going to face off against former unified WBA, WBC welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman. Keith Thurman is 30 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 22 wins by way of knockout, 34 years of age, 5'8" with a 69-inch arm reach. Okay, you're going to get Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence Jr. at junior middleweight, 154-pound limit, where Errol Spence's belts will not be on the line, okay, but it will be a WBC World Boxing Council mandatory challenge satisfaction on the part of Errol Spence, and it will be taking place May 27th, okay? So you're going to get Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman May 27th. Location is still to be determined, but they're actually looking at a possible showdown in Dallas Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Errol Spence has cornered the market in Dallas, Texas, at the Cowboy Stadium. Okay, he's had multiple fights there. Now he fought 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia and Cowboy Stadium. He also fought against two-division world champion Puerto Rican superstar boxer Danny Swift Garcia at Cowboy Stadium, and he also fought a former WBA Cuban superstar boxer Yordenis Ugas at Cowboy Stadium. So he's cornered the market there. They know that he can do big numbers there. They know he's a massive draw, and it's a possibility they're going to take this fight there. Keith Thurman has been made the mandatory challenger for Errol Spence and Errol Spence's WBC title. So with that said, you know, looks like this fight is going to happen May 27th. They don't want to interfere with 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer, who currently is the undisputed super middleweight world champion, widely considered to be the face of the sport of boxing right now, and Saul Canelo Alvarez, who's going to fight May 6th in his comeback fight against John Ryder. That's Cinco de Mayo weekend. May 6th, he's going to fight against John Ryder. And so that's going to be on pay-per-view. But as I told you guys, they did not want to interfere with, Gervonta Tank Davis fighting against Ryan Garcia, which is going to take place April 15th, okay, in Las Vegas, Nevada, at either the T-Mobile or at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. You listen to my last video, I explained that video, right? I explained that. So they don't want to interfere with this big pay-per-view. So you're going to get an announcement for Errol Spence and Keith Thurman very soon, okay? It's going to take place May 27th, okay? Now, this is, many people are not happy with this fight. There's people that complain about this fight because everybody wants to see the biggest fight in boxing, which is between Errol Spence and undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Terrence Bud Crawford, who has a record of 39 wins, no loss, no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout. He is 35 years of age, 5'8", with a 74-inch arm reach. That's the fight that everybody wants to see, but it has yet to materialize, okay? Now, Keith Thurman is nobody's walk in the park. He's nobody's cherry pick. Keith Thurman is definitely a viable option, okay? He's a great plan B. Now, the problem is with Keith Thurman is that inactivity, okay? And the fact that Errol Spence has been on record multiple times letting the world know he has zero interest in fighting Keith Thurman. And that is a reason that people are not happy about this fight. Keith Thurman is, again, like I said, Keith Thurman is inactive. Keith Thurman has fought 3 times in 6 years, okay? Since he fought and unified the belts against former 2-division world champion Puerto Rican superstar boxer Danny Swift Garcia, March of 2017, Keith Thurman picked up. He went into that fight as the WBA champion. Danny Garcia was the WBC champion. Keith Thurman won a fight against Danny Garcia to pick up the WBC title. And just 2 months later, May of 2017, Errol the True Spence Jr., he fought for his first world title opportunity against former IBF welterweight world champion, British superstar boxer Special K, Kell Brook, in the UK for his first title opportunity, and he stopped Kell Brook, okay? And he called for a fight, obviously, with Keith Thurman at that point in time, seeing as though they were both with the PBC, Premier Box Champions, with founder and advisor Al Heyman. Okay, they're both in, the same side of the street. 3 belts will be on the line. Mega fight. Okay, they both coming off of big wins, the 2 biggest wins of their career. It would just made sense. But Keith Thurman, he, downplayed the fight. He looked at the fight as an opportunity, as a Floyd Miller Manny Pacquiao 2.0, right? That's how Keith Thurman viewed the fight. He looked at it as that's his Manny Pacquiao or his Floyd Mayweather, right? And he's on record saying he miscalculated because he actually got the fight with Manny Pacquiao, right? And he lost. That's the only blemish on his resume, but he lost, okay? And the fight with him and Errol Spence didn't materialize, and Keith Thurman said he miscalculated, right? He said he dropped the ball. He was telling Errol Spence, you're going to get your opportunity, young pup, but he went on a hiatus, right? He had injuries, elbow surgery, and injuries, and he just completely disappeared from the sport of boxing. From March of 2017, he came back January of 2019, and he said that there was a get back year, and he had no interest in fighting Errol Spence or a rematch with Danny Garcia or a rematch with 2-time welterweight world champion superstar, retired future Hall of Fame boxer and Showtime Sean Porter, right? Who he beat. And so he said it was a get back year. He got the Josito Lopez fight, but then it presented itself for Keith Thurman to face off against Manny Pacquiao July. After he fought Josito Lopez in January. Then in July, he got the opportunity to actually fight Manny Pacquiao. He got dropped in the fight. He got badly hurt and looked vulnerable in the 10th round. And he lost his the only loss and blemish on his resume. So with that said, Keith Thurman, after the Manny Pacquiao fight, July 2019, Keith Thurman went on another hiatus. We didn't see Keith Thurman until February 5th of 2022, okay? And he fought Mario Barrio, who was a junior welterweight WBA regular champion and coming off of a 3-knockdown knockout loss to a super featherweight and Gervonta Tank Davis, who jumped up from 130 to 140 to challenge Mario Barrios. And then Mario Barrios got knocked out by by Gervonta Tank Davis. He moves up and fights Keith Thurman at 147. Keith Thurman should be the much bigger guy. Keith Thurman, is the much more experienced guy, the better fighter overall. And Keith Thurman looks vulnerable against Mario Barrios, okay? Doesn't knock him down, doesn't stop him, doesn't knock him out. But he had to survive, right? 2 times in the fight, he got hurt to the body bad. He had to spit out his mouthpiece and utilize the ring. And another time he was on the ropes and got hit with something big, and you could tell he was visibly hurt at that point in time. He got badly hurt to the body against Manny Pacquiao, and he got badly hurt by Josito Lopez. So he looked vulnerable in his last 3 fights. And you factor in, once again, Keith Thurman has been out the ring for a year again, over a year. By the time Keith Thurman faces off against Errol Spence May 27th of 2023 of this year, he would have been out the ring again. He last fought February 5th of 2022. So it'll be another 14 months Keith Thurman have been out the ring going into the fight against Errol Spence, when Errol Spence is going to be at his absolute best, because Errol Spence is going to move up to 154. Errol Spence has nothing to lose because his belts are not on the line. Okay, Errol Spence wants to be undisputed at welterweight, but he's told the world he's not. It's not easy for him to make 147 pounds. He's been doing it for 10 years, so that Errol Spence is going to be better suited at 154. Now he moves up to 154. He's going to be more comfortable, more energy. Errol Spence is a southpaw. He's bigger than Keith Thurman. He's younger than Keith Thurman, and he has a very, very high work rate. Keith Thurman likes to fight in spurts. If you watch his last 3 fights, Josito Lopez, Manny Pacquiao, and Mario Barrios, he fights in spurts. He lets combination go. He utilizes the ring. The last time we saw a Keith Thurman fight from start to finish was when he fought against Sean Porter, and that's because Sean Porter pushes you every second of every minute of every round. He didn't fight every second of every minute of every round against Danny Garcia. He fought in spurts against Danny Garcia as well, okay? And Errol Spence is not going to allow that, and he's going to be more comfortable. He's going to have more strength. He's going to have more energy at 154. And Keith Thurman's biggest weakness, glaring weakness, is going to the body. Okay, his punch resistance to the body just simply happens not to be there. Ever since he fought against Luis Collazo and Luis Collazo hurt Keith Thurman to the body, his punch resistance to the body has just not been there. That is the specialty of Errol Spence Jr. That's what he specializes in, is going to the body. And he has a very, very high work rate. Okay. So you factor in those two things. I think that this is an uphill battle, to say the least, for Keith one-time Thurman. But again, like I told you guys, they was not going to fight. The reports were that Errol Spence and Keith Thurman was going to fight in April, and I told you guys that was not going to happen, seeing as though we're going to get Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia in April. Okay. So Keith Thurman, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, May 27th. The first week in May, you're going to get, again, Cinco de Mayo weekend. Canelo Alvarez is going to fight John Ryder May 6th, okay, Cinco de Mayo weekend, and May 27th, 3 weeks later, which is spread out, right? It gives them 21 days since your last pay-per-view, right? And the Tank Davis fight is going to be in the 15th. So it's going to give you, 2 to 3 weeks from Gervonta Tank Davis to Canelo, and then 3 weeks from Canelo to Errol Spence, right? So that gives you, some space. They give you wiggle room and give you time to build up your revenue again to be able to pay for another pay-per-view. So you're going to get Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman May 27th. Huge fight. Again, I believe Errol Spence will stop Keith Thurman by the 8th, 9th round. It's going to be entertaining. They both fought at 154. Errol Spence has fought at 154. Keith Thurman has fought at 154. But Keith Thurman is now 34 years of age, and his punch resistance to the body is simply not there. Errol Spence has shown that he just has disdain for Keith Thurman. He's motivated. He's hungry. He has a point to prove. And again, Errol Spence has been out the ring by the time this fight happens. They will both have been out the ring for a year, over a year. The last time Errol Spence fought was April 16th, Arlington, Texas, AT&T Dallas Cowboy Stadium against Ugas. Okay, April 16th. This fight is going to take place in May. So Errol Spence will have been out the ring for 13 months since he last fought, and Keith Thurman will have been out the ring for 15 months, going on 15 months, okay? But I think that this benefits Errol Spence way more than it benefits Keith Thurman. And Errol Spence is satisfying his WBC mandatory challenge, and we have to see if he eventually fights Terrence Bud Crawford. So that's all I got for y'all. May 27th. It looks like it could be in Dallas, Texas. Once again, Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.